The very first time I kissed somebody, I took large personal risks to my safety and well being in order to check that box, in order to no longer be in this side of wanting connection romantically and not being able to achieve it. This comment in one of my videos over on Instagram says, people also don't talk about how this constant wanting creates so much inner conflict and leaves you susceptible to being taken advantage of or oversharing. And that's a component of lifelong singleness that I don't think we talk about enough, because I think it breeds a lot of shame that we would put ourselves in harm's way or put ourselves in situations where we're taken advantage of, or our relationships aren't true connections because we are so desperate and longing for the connection that we haven't been able to achieve for decades. So briefly, my first kiss story, I was 35 or 36 years old. I had gone on a first date with somebody. We went to a diner. I could tell there wasn't a lot of connection or engagement from his part, no matter how much I was trying. I felt a lot of pain. I felt a lot of shame, but I continued on with the date. At the end of the date, he said, "Do you want to go sit in my car?" It had been raining. I knew somewhere in my mind that that meant he wanted to kiss me, to make out with me, whatever. And I was so desperate to check that box that people had no idea where I was, that I'd even gone on a date, because I had so much shame about my dating life. And I said yes. And I sat in this car with this individual. And yes, he kissed me and we made out for a time. And it didn't feel good. It didn't feel right or like it was something that I wanted. I continued to stay in that setting for a time and then said, you know what, I gotta get going. Thank you and goodbye. And I left, I blocked him, and I cried all the way home because it didn't bring the connection that I was seeking. I still feel a lot of shame about this experience, and I think it's very difficult because loneliness is one thing. Loneliness plus shame is a quite other animal, and it does things that causes us harm. And I want so desperately for other people to not make my mistakes and to realize that they don't need to check boxes of connection in order to feel fulfilled or worthwhile or of value in human society. And that's why I think it's important to talk about it. I wish I knew the answer of how do we fix the problem, but it's so individual for each person to go through their journey of loneliness, of romantic connection, of friendship connection, all of those type of things. And so I don't really have an answer except to share my story, and hopefully in sharing my story, then people who have been in my experience or who might put themselves in that experience will reconsider and know that there is nothing that you can check a box for that is worth risking your personal safety. Sending love to y'all.